This is the 2025 Ford F-250 Platinum. Is it the ultimate HD truck? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're back at Jimmy Granger Ford today in Stonewall, Louisiana, and we're going to go over the particulars on this truck. If you want to know more and maybe come in and buy this truck, make sure you ask for Friendly Frank. Frank Swafford, he'll take good care of you. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. Here on the front end, we're going to see a very aggressive look with this truck. Maybe one of the most aggressive on the road, if not the most aggressive. You're going to have your LED projector beam headlights. We'll have the LED daytime running lights. A very strong appearance as far as the overall design of the headlight housing goes. You'll also have the use of the fog lights down there on the lower portion of the front end. As you can see, you're going to have your recovery hooks, and this truck will come on 20-inch wheels in this particular case. And right here you can see the 6.7 liter Power Stroke logo. This is the high output version that's going to be under the hood of this truck, so it's going to be making a ton of horsepower and a ton of torque. The Platinum logo and your F-250 logo right there, everything for the most part blacked out here. What do you think about having the Platinum name here in chrome? Should that be blacked out as well? Everybody having their opinions on all of that. We'll have our trailering mirrors or towing mirrors, depending on what you want to call that, with the turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, they're power adjustable, they're power folding. You've got your blind spot information system built in right here. And just to show you what we've got going on here, when we push this button right here, that's going to allow for those mirrors to fold in. But that's not the only functionality we have. We also have the ability to extend them out. So all we're going to do is use this switch right here. We hold it down to the left, and you will have to hold it down until they are out as far as you want them to be, or bring them back in. We'll also have the power assist steps that come out when you open the doors on the truck, and then obviously they'll go back under the truck once everybody is inside or everybody is out. I like that you have quite a few seconds before that action actually takes place. Now, you might want to make sure that you can step way up if you need to use the assist step that's built into the bed right here, but that does make it easier to gain access to the front portion of the bed. The FX4 off-road logo right there, that lets you know that this truck is four-wheel drive. We'll have our nice bright tail lights back here, the Super Duty logo that we already saw stamped into the front portion of the hood, also going to be stamped here into the tailgate. And it may be a little bit hard to see, but we have the zone lighting, which is going to include the lighting in your side view mirrors right there. And when you turn that on, you will also find the lighting on the interior of your bed, the LED lights that shine forward and will light the inside of the bed right there. We'll also find the cab light comes on, and you'll have one more light here on the tailgate, as well as the lights here on the rear. Under the hood of this truck is the high output 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel. What does that mean? 500 horsepower, but you know what? That's not the impressive number. 1,200 pounds-feet of torque. All of that's going to be mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. So when you need to tow, you can do it. When you need to haul, you can do it. Not going to be a problem. And this truck will have a 34-gallon fuel tank. Your towing capacity comes in at 22,000 pounds and 3,918 pounds as your max payload. Here is your remote for the F-250. Lock, unlock, remote start. We can open and close the power tailgate. It's all going to be here. And your panic button. Now, one thing that does separate this truck out, if you were going with, say, the GMC 2500 or Silverado 3500 from Chevrolet, you have a power tailgate that you can lower by hitting the button right there. But there is a difference here. Depending on if you go with the Multi-Pro or Multi-Flex tailgates on one of those two trucks, unless you go with the conventional style tailgate, you cannot do this, which is hit the button and bring it back up using the power feature. Now, in this particular case, you will see that we can do that. That is something that I have to say I like, not that it's that challenging of a situation to open and close the tailgate by hand. Many of us did that for many years. Being that this truck is pretty high off the ground, it is nice to see, number one, we have the steps built into the bumper right here. But to make that even easier, you also have the step built into the tailgate. We're going to pull that out, and it actually pulled the handle out with it. There's your handle. You put that in place, and it makes it very easy to grab the handle, step onto the step right there, and up we go. Very easy to get in and out of the bed of this truck. And you'll find plenty of tie downs within the interior. You're going to have your power outlet right here, as you can see. If you need to power something, I like the fact that we have two options. We're not going to just have one the way that I know my GMC 2500 has. I also have a power outlet back here, but I can only plug one thing in. If you buy this F-250, you can plug in two things. Nice little addition. You'll also find your chrome exhaust tips. What do you think about that? Should those be maybe black, something like that, to go with the rest of the black that is all over this truck? Or does that chrome work for you? Always curious to know what your thoughts are on little things like that. No shortage of room within the interior of this truck. Nice large armrests. We have the upper and the lower door bin. And we have our blue stitching and piping right here. Something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. I think that works quite well. You can pull right here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed or one-armed. We can lift up the seat cushions on both seats to gain access to our storage area down here. There is a lot of space, not only for driver and passengers, but also when it comes to storage. You'll find your Platinum logo here. More of that blue right here around that on the seat backs. I like having the grab handles right here, and there's one at all four doors. That's going to help out a lot when getting in and out of this truck. It does sit fairly high off the ground. We're going to have the seat pockets right here, and we'll have our drink holders on the back of the center console, air conditioning vents. You'll have your heated seats, a couple of USB options, and then we have another power outlet right down there, as you can see. And the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. If you watch me regularly by now, you know I like this because it's better to have the vertical cup holders as opposed to parallel, because it can still be used as an armrest when there are drinks sitting in here. And for those of you who are fans of a panoramic sunroof, that is what you're going to have in these F-Series trucks. There is a power shade that can be drawn forward when you don't want all that sunlight coming in, or whatever your situation is where you don't want to have that area open. And the front portion will also open as well. When you hop into your F-250, here is what you're going to see as far as your animated graphics go. I know a lot of people don't really care about that necessarily, but it's here. I might as well show it to you. What do you think about that? I think that Ford has some of the best looking graphics in the industry. Not only when you hop into the truck, but obviously when you start the truck, you're going to have a little bit more animation that takes place. And I don't know how well you can see what's happening on the head-up display up there. Kind of hard to see. But the thing I really like here is what you get when you leave. It seems like it's kind of the ultimate goodbye for a truck when you're hopping out of the driver's seat. How about the sticker price? And we're gonna have the upper glove box. Put that back down. There's your Super Duty logo right there. Try and give you a good view of that. And our typical glove box down here in the more conventional place. Heated, ventilated seats that are power adjustable, and they also have the massage function. I'm going to turn that on just so you can see the proof. There it is, your seat controls. You can see your different options as far as what is available where that is concerned. And I like the fact that you know you're getting a massage. It's fairly aggressive, but not necessarily in an uncomfortable way. And I don't know how well you can see the head-up display, but it is here. Maybe not as easy to see on the camera today, but you can see your seat controls here. Everything for seat memory right here. As far as that goes, we've got 3 different settings right there. I showed you some of the controls for your side view mirrors. I think you know what else is here, so we won't spend too much time on that. But we have all of our controls for our headlights and taillights and all that good stuff here. One thing you won't find here is the auto stop start feature. For those of you that don't like that, that's good news. And I know some of you do. That's perfectly okay if that's your opinion where that is concerned. We will have a power adjustable via the control right down here. In fact, it'll be easier to show you right here. There is your adjustment for the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel, depending on where you want that to be set. You have your steering wheel mounted controls here, as you can see. And over here on the right-hand side, quite a bit going on there. We have our menu up, as you can see. We're going to have quite a few different options. You can adjust your head-up display right there, as you can see. And then we can hit our back button right here to go back to the screen we were just on. You can go in here and adjust your gauges as well, depending on what you want to do right there. There is a lot of cool stuff you can do here. A lot of great information. We can go back to menu right there if you need to do that. You can do that right there. So a lot going on. A very nice modern look with the driver's display. Over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you can control everything with your windshield wipers and run your windshield wiper fluid when you need to do that. We'll do that right here just so you can see that happening. And over here on the right-hand side, we're going to have the shifter. Now, one thing that's interesting here, I drive a GMC 2500, a 2024 model, and a lot of people tell me that the shifter gets in the way of the infotainment screen or the center screen. No matter what, you shouldn't have that problem here because the shifter is actually a little bit shorter, a little bit of a different situation where that is concerned, at least the way it's designed. Maybe not shorter, but just the overall design is different, so that makes it easier not to get in the way of the screen. And before we talk about that screen, let's look at the upper console just to show you what all is here. Nice to have the old handy-dandy sunglass holder. Not every vehicle has that anymore. We'll have some storage space right above the infotainment screen, and here is the infotainment screen. You're going to have your built-in navigation. You can pair your smartphone wirelessly. We'll go in here to apps just to show you what's going on. You can even watch Vehicle Visionary videos or listen to them when you're driving. Let your passengers watch, but don't you watch when you're driving down the road if you're sitting still. Yeah, no problem, but be safe out there. But you can see that you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Go into settings right here and see some of the different features and functionality that we have where that is concerned. And there's actually some really nice things you can do here. A lot of great information. We can go into vehicle right here. If we want to do that, you can set your max vehicle idle if you want to for 30 minutes, or you can just turn that off. It just depends on what you want to do. Key detection, rear occupant alert, all that stuff is here. Some things that I think we need and some things that I think we don't. I think you can probably guess what is what where that is concerned. We're going to go right here because there are some important things that I want to tell you about, including your running boards. Why is that important? If you need to deploy those, maybe you're washing your truck and you want to just leave them out, well, you don't have to just leave the door barely open, ajar as it were. You can come right here and actually determine if they stay out. You can turn them off, as you can see, or you can leave it on auto as it's going to be set right there. You can also go to your timer right here, and you can go with the standard timer, or you can go with the extended timer, depending on what you want to do with that. That's going to give you the information as far as what's going on right there. So a nice feature for those who may want to know about that. Let's get back over here to that screen again. Driver assistance is something that I know I get a lot of questions about. What are the safety features? You're going to find cruise control, obviously, your speed limit assist, lane keeping assist system, pre-collision assist, exit warning. That's going to be here, your rear view camera delay, blind spot information system. I showed you where that was in your side view mirrors. You have your trailer side view, your park aid sensors, cross traffic alert, reverse brake assist, and your driver alert right there. And how about your cameras? They are everywhere on this truck. You've got your overhead view right here on the right hand side, and you can zoom in anywhere that you see that area that shows that you can do that. Pretty easy to deal with right there. We can zoom back out right there. So you see what I'm talking about, the magnifier with the plus on it. That's what I mean when I say that. And so you can look from any angle you possibly want to, not only from this area, but also with our front view camera. We're going to have additional cameras. There's your bed view camera right there if you need to see that. And then we can go over here and take a look at our other camera views. I tell you what, you will not have any trouble seeing what is going on around this truck, no matter what the situation is. It's nice, very easy to deal with. I like that. Pretty simple to work with. And as far as your trailering goes, you've got a lot of great features and functionality here for that. You're going to have everything here for the radio. There's where you adjust the volume, turn it on and off, and where you change the stations, whatever you're listening to with all of that. Something that I do like here, I told you that I own a GMC 2500, something that the GMC trucks, the Sierras, whether it's the Sierra or the Chevrolet Silverado, as far as the current models have, they don't have what you have right here, a 12-volt power outlet. I had to buy a USB to 12-volt adapter to use my dash cam, then you'll also have your 120 volt AC power outlet right there. And concealed under here, we're going to have our wireless charging pad and some USB connectivity, dual zone climate control. And you can see that I'm taking full advantage of the ventilated driver's seat. It is mighty warm out here in Northwest Louisiana today. When it's not warm, you can use your heated seat functionality and your heated steering wheel. A little bit of space right here, actually quite a bit of space throughout the interior of this area. But the thing I like, let's say you go and buy a bunch of drinks and you don't have room to hold them all. Well, if you have 4, you can put them right here. Actually, if you have 6, you still have 2 more right there. And if you have 8, you have 2 more cup holders back there in the rear. There's actually more than that in this truck beyond that. But kind of a nice little feature there that you have if you need it. And a ton of room with the lid for the center console that doubles as an armrest. And then we can open that up. There is a ton of space in here. This tray is removable. But I'll tell you what, there is no shortage of space within the interior of this truck, like I said earlier, for driver or passengers. All right, here we go for a test drive, and I'm very curious to see how this truck runs compared to what I'm used to. Let's see, we're gonna get on it just a little bit. Now, I can't just floor it and go down the road. I don't want to do that without this motor having some miles on it. But I can tell that there's definitely a difference when it comes to comparing this truck to my own GMC 2500, which, by the way, that is the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel. And if you're wondering about horsepower and torque on that truck, 470 horsepower and 975 pounds-feet of torque. So I would imagine if I pull up next to one of these F-250s and it has the high output 6.7 liter in it, I'm probably just going to let them go down the road so I don't embarrass myself. I don't think I could outrun them, but who knows? But we're not going to do any racing on the road anyway. Overall, a very enjoyable truck to drive, easy to see out of. You're going to have all of those great safety features I talked about early in the video, and your cameras all over the truck if you need to use those. Now, one thing that you can do here as well, in case you're curious, you can leave the cameras on when you're driving down the road, as you can see. That's what I'm doing right here. Now, there could be some advantages to that. If you do that, obviously you want to be careful not to stay focused on that the same way you wouldn't stay focused on your rearview mirror, because, well, obviously you need to be focused on the windshield and what you're seeing out of that area. But something that I know a lot of people have asked me about in the past as far as that goes, and there is an answer to your question where that is concerned. But overall, a very enjoyable truck to drive. It gets down the road very well. The seats are comfortable, and everything is very easy to get to as far as the different features and functionality. Sorry, we're not moving right now, but you know what? This driver in front of us is actually being cautious, which is a good thing, by not pulling out in front of the traffic or trying to pull in front of the cross traffic with that trailer they're pulling. So I like to see that. Thumbs up in case that person happens to watch this video. The head-up display on this truck is nice and bright, very easy to see. You saw that you can go in and make adjustments to that earlier in the video. I showed you how you do that via your steering wheel mounted controls. Everything here is easy to learn and use. Gas pedal and brake pedal seem to be very easy to manage. I would like to have a little bit more time driving these trucks. And the ride quality for a Super Duty seems to be good. Obviously, it's not going to be the smoothest riding truck on the road, but you know what? That's not what you expect. So that should not be a surprise to anybody. But I tell you what, for what it is, I think it is extremely comfortable. But overall, a very nicely built truck, very well built, nice materials throughout. Yeah, it is a little bit on the pricey side, but in this day and age, just about everything is. You have a lot of great features and functionality that come with this truck overall. And the thing I like most, if I had a very aggressive back workout at the gym, I know it would be nice in my personal daily driver, my 2500, to have the massage seats. It does not have that. And the thing I like here is that when you drive this truck with those massage seats on, it's not just a little bit of a minor massage. It does a pretty good job. And there it is, the 2025 Ford F-250 Super Duty Platinum Tell me what you think about this truck. Is it the ultimate HD truck? I'm always curious to receive your feedback. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Jimmy Grande Ford down here in Stonewall, Louisiana, for loaning me this truck for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would, please share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional trucks you may wish to consider purchasing or any other vehicle, check out the video that is on the screen right now, and I will see you there.